Hey there, it's Gandalf Trader for another market update this week. Apologies, it's a few days late. Um, I had a busy weekend, but let's get to it and let's give you an update. So, last week, what we talked about the S&P 500 and this trend line and channel that we're trading within. We squeezed. We had a divergence pattern appear here, which would have been a good short area around here. We squeezed those shorts. Had a couple of weeks of continuous upward movement in the market. We hit this upper trend line. What I suggested as a possibility last week is that we may break above this trend line, but then quickly come back in and start a reversal pattern. It looks like over the last few days, trading days, that's kind of what's happening here. We popped above a lot of supply up here, and now we're quickly retracing below. So look, I think this is a low liquidity market where I think a lot of the longs here are shorts covering. So I think there could be a pretty quick retrace back to at least the breakout levels. So I've got highlighted here the previous support that we built. So in our trend of higher lows and higher highs, this is our last higher low. So it's a pretty key support. And I think we get somewhere back down here. Here's a 50-day moving average, which has acted as, it's dipped below it, but we've never strayed too far away from that 50-day moving average. There's strong support there. So don't be surprised to see the S&P 500, do a 618 kind of retracement back to, this also corresponds to this breakout level here, 50-day moving average. I think, low liquidity zone here, I think we could easily retrace to 39.72 area over the next couple of weeks at least. And then what the market does there is going to be interesting. It's also a trend line support. My view is that this is a peak for a consolidation pattern. I think in previous videos I've been calling out for this area. Still think that area could potentially get hit. It seems, I mean, we're talking about, from these prices, we're talking about a 15% correction, which is pretty significant. I still think it's possible. And because of that, I did take a short position. I didn't take it in ES, I took it in NQ. So I took some May 20th QQQ puts at basically close to the top. Actually, I saw this candle and took the puts. So they're in okay profits. I'll have a stop if we get anywhere above all-time highs. I'll stop out and wait for another location to take some puts. So in my opinion, this is not a breakout where we're going to trend higher. I do think this is a local top that we made. I'll be buying heavy. Any of these kind of 35 to 3700 prices, I'll be looking to start loading up swings and the long-term portfolio with the cash that I have available. So I'm not taking any new long positions. When you're trading, you have to think about risk reward, and I don't see the risk reward in going long at these prices. I think there's significant risk reward going short. We're only 1% away from the all-time high. So if my trade here, if the market did bounce here and push to all-time highs, I'll take a stop, and it will just be a small loss, and that's what trading's all about. So I have a short bias on the market, and I don't want to get back in until we break some supports and we liquidate some longs and go to areas of demand. So that's my view on the indices. Same story with NQ. That's where I short this 13,950 area, and I'm going to hold it and see if we get back to these levels. That's where the 200-day moving average is, and see if we break below that as well, which I think is possible. I am in things I'm long. I'm long silver. I took a position here. I like the structure here actually at the 786. Looks like a range, but it just looks like it's. I mean, if we look at the weekly, just looks like we are building a really nice, just kind of consolidation here at these levels, um, and we're kind of just consolidating below the 50% retracement of the bubble that happened in 2011. So we're right under resistance. We're not breaking any supports. I think we're just consolidating here. The moving averages have caught up, and I think silver can get back to resistance and start to head towards that all-time high, which is pretty significant, double from here. So I like silver quite a bit. A lot of macro things in its favor. So silver I am bullish on. Let's look at the VIX, which obviously is implied volatility indicator, and we broke to levels we haven't seen since February 2020. We filled the COVID gap. We're right at support, and I think this is an area where the VIX can make another peak. So I don't think the VIX is going to go straight up to the moon to 30-40 levels. I think it'll make a peak. We'll have a downward movement in stocks. We'll retrace, and then we'll get a bigger movement, maybe hit to these resistance levels, and then over time we'll head right back down to these levels again. That's typically what happens in the VIX during this correction. So that's what I'm expecting to happen again. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the daily. So I told you for the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin is losing momentum. And while it loses momentum and kind of hangs out around here, we should be going heavy in alts, where there should be some real nice opportunities. And we had a really nice alt season around these levels. But as soon as we broke that high, and what I was actually tracking was this resistance. I was looking for us to tap 66, 67, but when we posted this candle, that got me a little bit concerned, and I just think there's a lot of supply up here, a lot of sellers up here, and any kind of bearish candle that I saw, I was going to head to the exits, and I still have a full position in Bitcoin, full position in Ethereum, and I've held a couple of alts. I've held Solana, I've held Atom. I'm going to talk about Atom in a minute, and I've got some alts that I'm free rolling, like Stellar Lumens and IOTA. Actually, no, sorry, I sold IOTA completely, but there's a couple others. Serum, I have free rolling in. But everything else I completely sold out of. So I've got a lot of Tether in crypto, and I'm looking for areas to buy. And I think right now we've got this divergence pattern. You can see pretty standard divergence pattern. You can see these trend lines start to get gradually less steep. We're just losing momentum. We keep breaking these support lines. So we broke one there. We create a new trend line that's less steep. We broke it again here, and now we are entering kind of this potential, what I think is going to be a range. But here we'll finally post a lower high, is what I think is going to happen here. So I think anywhere up to 61k. I think if you are looking to take profits, I'd take profits on alts, and maybe even Bitcoin. You could take some profits up here, because when we get this downward movement, the second kind of impulse down, alts are going to get absolutely crushed. Most alts anyway. So just be careful. If you've got a long-term view and you want to hold for years, then just continue holding these little oscillations here. Who cares about them? But if you are actively trading, I think when we get back up to 60 to 61, I think you want to be very careful. Where I'm looking to rebuy is this 382 of the entire trending movement higher, is around 44k. I like that area. It also is where we previously bounced from. I think there's a lot of demand here, so I'll be loading on altcoins. I've got enough Bitcoin and I've got enough Ethereum. I don't need more of that, but altcoins that I like, I'll be waiting until Bitcoin reaches these levels and then I think it may be safe to get back in. So short-term topping pattern in Bitcoin. I do think later this year we have another move higher in cryptos, so that's what I'm preparing for. I held Atom, so I got in Atom around 17 bucks. So we actually tapped my entry just a couple of days ago. But I bought some more at those levels at the bottom of this range. So I do think Atom is undervalued. I don't think it's run as hard as some of the other altcoins, and this is a premium altcoin. And you can see in the bounce that it's had, there's huge demand around these prices. So if, it's quite possible that Atom reaches these prices again. And if it does, anywhere between 15 to 17 bucks, I think you want to buy, and anywhere around in the teens, I think you want to buy Atom, and I think it could head into some pretty nice moves down the road, parabolic scheming type moves. So I'm bullish on Atom. I'm just accumulating on dips, and I think you guys should do the same. And that's all I wanted to talk about this week. If you have any questions or anything you want me to look at for the video on Sunday, please post it in the comments and the chat. I'm happy to do so. And stay safe trading. And just a final word, I'm obviously bearish. I'm short. Doesn't mean, and I don't recommend those that have listened to this video just wake up tomorrow and short everything. I could be wrong. So if you're not already short and you didn't get in the prices that I did, and just a good position is to be in cash. Just follow the other admins. If you think there may be a downward movement, do less swings and just follow the day trades that some of the admins do. That would be my recommendation. The last thing you want to do is go short and then watch things go higher and you kind of missed out on that. Just stay in cash. Cash is a position. You don't need to catch every movement, right? So that's just my final thoughts, and thank you for listening. Bye.